to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company Window Works from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. This is sort of a What Would Lou Do show in that as a matter of fact, if you're on my email list, you know that I recently talked about this in an email. But if you asked me what was the best one piece of business advice that I could give you to create big benefits to your business, something that would be a significant lifelong game changer for your business, what would it be? Right? So here's the thing. There are many things you need to do well to run a well-designed business. And I have to say, if you're a longtime listener of the show, you're probably able to rifle off quite a few of them right off the top of your head, right? We have to have a handle on our finances. Dozens of your colleagues have expressed the dramatic before and after in their business, in their profitability, in their success, in their confidence by simply committing to really knowing your numbers. The most famous episode, I have to say, is probably 575 with Lisa Gilmore. She also stood up at LuAnn Live and talked about it. It was incredible. But there are others, 467 with Taylor Spellman and 398 with Courtney McLeod. In each of these, you will learn something about that before and after of really coming to terms with yourself and being real about learning your numbers. And I suggest you start with these, but for more like these, you can go to my website and click on the collections tab under the podcast, and the shows are categorized there. So under the finance category, there are many, many short shows like this there that you'll find. Another thing that you have to do in order to be successful is you have to create client experiences that make you stand out, right? You want to not only deliver quality products that are beautiful, but you have to do it in a way that makes you memorable. You do this, of course, through your actual design, but you really do it in how you manage the project, how you show up in person, on your website, in social media. I always say that we teach people how to treat us, and we also teach people how to think about us. So if you are teaching your clients what you deliver and what they can expect from you, they go looking for it, right? So episodes on the client experience include 781 with Lori Morris. And if you haven't heard that one, she's an absolute riot, okay? Number 683 with Jessica Madison, who talked about really drilling down on what she delivers and how it absolutely exploded the client experience deliverable. Number 412 with Ashley Uhl, who is an absolute expert on helping interior designers up their game in their client experience. And also 663 with Andrea Highsmith, who talked about some of the tangible things that she does to create a memorable experience and a lasting relationship with her clients. Okay. And then for shows on actually creating that memorable part, defining who you are, defining your brand, figuring out your story, I'm just going to tell you, listen to all of the episodes with Jude Charles and Nicole Heimer. Every single one of them has an aha moment to help you think about you, your business, and all of the things through a new lens. Okay. Now, another thing you have to do is you have to learn how to build and manage your team efficiently and effectively. So for shows that talk about this, of course, I can never I could never not mention Eileen Hahn, my cousin, when we talk about team leadership, team management, and all the things. So episode 589 with Eileen Hahn. Also, episode 622 with Dwayne Bergman. He really walked through his high-level process for managing his team. It was a great, he's a smart guy. Okay. 634 with Jessica Harling, also rock star when it comes to this topic. And 669 with Kelly Collier, who she talked about how, brand new in the business, and she was already developing these skills. She took them from her previous career, and that was what the insights were and how she brought them to the new career of interior design and just helped her just hit the ground running, right? So the thing is, we also have a collection on the website about this too, so check that out. The thing is, knowing how to hire, how to interview, how to train, how to empower, inspire, and lead others is a non-negotiable skill for being an effective CEO in your business. And I would say, thinking back on it, it might be one of the hardest things that I had to learn. Other than the finances, let's be serious. But that's really the lesson here in hindsight. I was always challenged by the finances. I always, needed to help to understand the P&L and all the things, right? So I knew from the beginning that I had to work harder to understand that. But hiring, you see, I thought I did it pretty well, even from the beginning when I was brand new in business. I'm a people person. I am very intuitive. I've always been a good communicator. And so the thing is, I naively spent many years thinking I'm good in this lane. But I have to tell you, it's only in the last 10 to 12 years, yes, after like 30 years of being in business, having spent much, much more time with my cousin Eileen Hahn and just learning from her and really being in her world on a regular basis, and in the more recent years having her actively coach us, and also more recently spending a lot more time with Jessica Harling as well. I have learned all the things I didn't know I didn't know. When you commit to hiring, training, managing, and leading, by, take a guess, what? By a process in a system, instead of by instinct and charm, everything changes dramatically. Having the right people in the right seats, people who are doing what they love to do and are good at doing, will dramatically change your business. That's all I can say about it. It's just so true. And I've learned this in major part from Eileen, and also more recently, Jessica has been impacting this knowledge for me as well. So I would definitely check out their episodes and the others I mentioned. But if you made me pick the single one game-changing piece of advice, the one thing I would go back and tell myself, LuAnn, this will be critical. Pay attention to it. It's this. Your business will be as good as the relationships you create within it. Right? Your partners, if you choose the route of having partners, is critical. Your employees, if you choose the route of growing a business beyond yourself. But for everybody, it's your network, your community, the people you lean on, the people you learn from, and the people that you can inspire with your ideas, right? Okay, this is the biggest difference in business. Why? Because it impacts every single other decision. How do you learn all of the above skills that I mentioned that are important? The finances, the client experience, the team building. I guess you could do it on your own. I guess you could spin your wheels, trying, failing, iterating. Or you could look to your network of friends, colleagues, and consultants to help you do these things more effectively in less time with better results, right? When Vinny, Billy, and myself opened our window works in 1981, We were part of the Window Works franchise. And we learned so much from our community, from the home office of Window Works, and from the other franchisees. It was foundational. It was critical to the success of the business. We were never alone. And now, Window Works, we have our community at Exciting Windows to help manage, inform, and create a well-run business at Window Works. Okay. On my other podcast, Window Treatment for Profit, I recently interviewed Rick Baker, and we both talked about the priceless value that each of our companies have gotten, and each of us as individuals, from being able to ask, share, learn, and support each other through Exciting Windows in this insanely beastly task of running a business. So we'll put that episode in the show notes too. All right. Having people around you is not the same as Googling things. It's not even the same as reading a book. And although I'm an avid business book reader, well, I should say avid Audible business book listener, it's not the same. When you can have that face-to-face conversation with people who are in the trenches with you, who know what you do, how you do it, and you can look and say, oh, you actually did it. You know what happens? It makes it possible for you to imagine that you can do it too, in a way that's different from a book or a podcast, right? So, how do you develop this network of like-minded people? Well, you're going to have to put yourself out there. Right? You have to be willing to give so you can get. Depending on your comfort level and your willingness to invest in your business, you do have options. Of course, you have the Facebook groups, free, not very intimidating, and you can go in and participate at your own pace. I will put links in the show notes, but several of the best groups that come to mind are, well, I'd love you to join mine. Let's just say that, okay? But beyond that, Nancy Ganskaufer's group, Veronica Solomon's group, Claire Jeffords' group, Cheryl Clendenden's group, Darla's group, the Wingnut Social Media Lab. These are a great place to start, to just start to see who do you jive with, which other designers think like you, talk like you, seem to have the same values as you, not to mention all of the leadership advice that you get from each of these women as they manage their groups, okay? Then next we have all of your peers and the consultants of the podcast, okay? Of course, the consultants, expect and hope you'll reach out to them, and I know that you do when they resonate with you. But you have your peers here too. Every single designer who has ever been on the show, when they've had people reach out to them, you reach out to them after hearing their story, has relayed back to me how happy it makes them, how much they enjoy making the new friends, through the podcast. Okay. So if someone that's on the show, a designer peer, feels like your kind of people, let them know they taught you something. Let them know that they inspired you in some way. You never know what might come of that first interaction. Sometimes it's that. It's it. It's you give a compliment, they genuinely accept it, you move on. But I have heard of people taking it to the next level to then ultimately, meeting offline, whether it's at one of the markets or, whatever it is, or keeping it all virtual, but keeping and maintaining and, I was going to say taking advantage of, but really sharing the support of each other, right? And then the next option does involve leaving your house. It does involve investing in your business. The time, the matter of putting your money and time where your mouth is, right? Like Exciting Windows, we were members, Vin and I, for 4 years, paying members before we actually decided to buy the company. We invested in this because we knew as individuals and as a business, we would benefit. All right. Where could you do the same? Well, you have conferences like the IDS conference coming up this August 4th, 5th, and 6th, 2022 in Chicago. I will be keynoting there. Revel Woods is sponsoring my keynote. And I have to say, this will be my second IDS conference, and I am so looking forward to it. This is an outstanding opportunity to meet your people, to begin or to continue to grow your network. All right. Excellent content and community at the IDS conference. Now, another option, in a week or two from now, Rick Campos will be on the podcast. He was on, I aired his show on my feed about a month ago because he celebrated 4 years of podcasting. You know, he's got the podcast Design Biz Survival Guide. And what you'll find when you hear his podcast coming up very soon is that he is running a retreat. October, I want to say 2021, 20th and 21st, 2022 in Southern California. And this is another great opportunity to get together with designers to make meaningful relationships is what I'm trying to say. So this is designbizsurvivalguide.com for more information. And then, of course, lastly, I do hope by now that you've heard me talk about my next Power Talk Friday tour happening in High Point, also October 21st, 2022. This is where the magic happens. I'm telling you, small group, maximum of 20 attendees, plus myself, the Vincenz, and Eileen Hahn. This event is sponsored by My Doma Studio and Revelwoods, and we are going to have an entire day to dig into your businesses, the challenges that we are in now, and also talking about the challenges we may be facing in the next year or so. I'm not even going to say the word that begins with R, but do you know what to do to prepare for it and to manage and lead your company through it? So you see, getting together with brilliant group of like-minded business owners isn't always about how do I make more money, more profits, or whatever. Oftentimes, it's about how do I manage and lead in trying times? How do I know when to hire, when to let go? How do I know what the signs are? And when I see the signs, what are my first steps? I have to say, between myself, Vinny, and Eileen, we have enough optimism for an entire hemisphere, I promise you. But between us, we also have enough business experience and savvy to know when to be realistic and how to walk the line of managed growth and being the thoughtful leader of your business, of your investment, of your livelihood, right? So this is my number one piece of advice. It is to build, manage, and lead a well-designed business by creating meaningful relationships in all areas of your life, including your business life, right? I've given you a ton of resources, a ton of ways in order to access this information at whatever way and level is right for you now, okay? All of the links will be in the show notes. And keep in mind, my Power Talk Friday tour is strictly limited to 20 attendees. So if this is tweaking you and you're interested in it and you're thinking, don't hesitate. Don't risk being closed out. Also, too, you have to get into High Point on Thursday because we start at 8:30 in the morning on Friday. This is a long day, but amazing, exhilarating day. Okay, so you have to have plans. All right, go to powertalkfriday.com to learn more and to register. I hope to see you there. This is one room you want to be in. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, it is my privilege and honor to do this with you and for you. Decide to be excellent. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of LuAnn Nigara, Inc. If you want to know more about me, my books, or LuAnn University, go to LuAnnNigara.com. And if you are interested in having WindowWorks help you with your next window treatment or awning project in the New York, New Jersey metro area, go to WindowWorksNJ.com to learn more. Have an excellent day.